Welcome to the Risk Forever channel, guys. The channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host Champion Ever. And today we are playing 3-player fixed card game with my subscribers. Both of them are grandmasters. Settings: alliance is on, balance blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. This time we also got blizzards, which seem to be not that much impactful, well, at least not drastically. So anyways, with the blue player drastically expanding and trying to increase his territorial troop bonus, I decided to send the alliance request to the green player and encourage him to attack the blue player. And also I needed that he would move his 4 troops out from South America, so I would be able to capture it. Besides South America, I saw that I wasn't really suitable to go for any other continent, well, maybe besides North America, but I mean none of my opponents would have wanted me to get it. In a 3-player game, to get a big continent could be a good advantage for that player. So for my opponents to start paying the most of attention to me, wasn't something I wanted. I want that it would be differently, that I would be able to team up on someone with someone else, but not to get the one being targeted. So for now my plan is to have a strong alliance with the green player and encourage him to team up on blue. The blue player invades the green player into Africa, and in terms to force the green player to betray me, that I wouldn't take over an unstoppable advantage, it was a very great decision. However, it's unknown how the green player reacts. In case he will take it very personally, it could make him take the alliance even more seriously with me, and that could lead him of giving me away the game. So it depends how decent the green player is. And as you can see, he is smart. If he had attacked blue instead of invading me, then he would have given away the game for me. I was still kinda considering taking the blue player out, but without being sure whether I will successfully make it, and if so, then if I would have the advantage in the endgame with green, I decided to play safe and not go with the decision to take the blue player out. So what I did is retaliated to the green player's attack and invaded him into Africa. Which when it comes to the balance of the game is neither bad nor good decision, and when it comes to diplomacy is bad, but I mean all 3 of us are grandmaster rank players in this game and we know that we should never take the alliances too seriously. And also another thing is that I don't want for this game to be a long boring stalemate in which we would just be turtling until the eternity, ending up having hundreds of troops. What I want is for this game to be interesting and with a lot of attacks. So anyways, with both of us invading each other into continents, it was the decision point for the blue player to choose which player to join, and he has chosen the green player's side. However, with me suggesting green to team up on the blue player once again and with the blue player targeting me, it's the decision point for the green player which alliance to choose. Now a lot of depends on him, as he is wanted by both of us. So far I'm not really sure which side he truly decides to choose, but hopefully he will be teaming up with me again. He moved his troops out from South America and also didn't put a lot of troops to the border next to me, and those are already very good signs. However, it's too early to say. In this turn he just captured 1 troop territory of both of us each, so it could really indicate that he is considering both of the alliances. If he could, he would be in both of them at once, but obviously he will have to choose to help out either to me or blue. Otherwise, if he stays neutral and just hoards troops, then I and the blue player will be forced to team up on him. And this is something the green player wouldn't like, I guess. Anyways, considering I'm at 5 cards while the green player is at 4, the blue player has overattacked me, making me to be easily taken out for my cards. If I'm right, I think the green player shouldn't struggle to win the endgame against the blue player after taking me out. But I mean, we are going to find it out. I could be wrong. But in any case, I think the game is over for me. So yeah, it was nice to live in a living world. But oh wow, that's awesome. When I was ready to die, the good luck has came to my side. That's so fortunate for me, and who knows, I might be even able to make the greatest comeback ever. So let's trade in a set and then I don't know. I see that I have a wild card. So I think I will accept the blue player's alliance request and encourage him to attack the green player. as like it was in my case, the blue player might end up weakening the green player too much, so with me very likely having a 10 troop set, I might be able to take the green player out for his cards. So this is why I invaded the green player into Africa as well, as I really want to encourage the blue player to drastically attack the green player. Maybe not immediately in the next turn, I should be able to take him out depending on how much the blue player attacks him, but maybe after one more turn for sure. But alright, that's awesome, the blue player has really surpassed my expectations, so now it really depends on the green player on how much he weakens himself. And yeah, the green player is barely alive, so I think I should go for it, right? Having a 10 troop set at 3 cards, it should be my opportunity to win. But I don't know, actually I'm not so sure anymore. I'm not sure whether I would have the advantage over the blue player in the endgame or not. What about if the blue player has a 10 troop set at 3 cards? Then in that case I think I would end up losing. So yeah, all in all I decided to play safe, and instead of taking the green player out, I decided to invade the blue player into Australia. Possibly trying to dominate the whole game by myself, which is very unlikely because my opponents will trade in their sets soon, but at least I know that I didn't end up risking of drastically losing the game. But who knows, maybe actually I should have tried taking the green player out, and then I might have had more chances to succeed in the endgame against blue rather than to fail. I'm not quite sure on that at all, so what do you guys think? Anyways, in this turn I ended up clearing out the blue player of Australia because I really thought that he will have a set at 4 cards. The green player was at 4 cards also, but the blue player's turn was before him, so it made more sense to target him more than the green player. But in overall it probably made the most sense to not keep capturing the territories of any of them, to not accidentally give away one for another one, so I shouldn't have cleared out the blue player from Australia, with him not being totally guaranteed to have a set at 4 cards. I could say that I ended up over-attacking him too, but thank God the green player didn't have a set at 4 cards as well. So to play safe I think I should have captured one territory per turn instead of trying to capture a bunch of them when I knew that both of my opponents will be able to trade in their sets before me anyways. So it was quite a mistake for me. So anyways, with the green player invading blue into Europe, I invaded the green player into South America to balance the things out, with the blue player possibly invading him into Africa. So far I'm not sure if I have good opportunities to properly team up, so I will just look to the troops counter and try to sustain the balance of the game. I mean, with all of us being relatively weak and with a lot of cards, the game could really end up being given away for someone if the alliances are taken too seriously or if someone ends up getting over-attacked. So by wanting to show that I want to treat both of my opponents equally, I think I will attack both of them more or less equally until I see some better opportunity to possibly team up properly, when I would be sure that it couldn't immediately give away the game for someone with the lucky circumstances. So firstly I want us to trade in our sets. I think I will try remaking the alliance with the green player. I saw that the blue player could end up taking both of the Americas, not in a single turn immediately, but firstly capturing South America, and then guarding only the Alaskan border. He could end up encouraging the green player to trap me in Australia, with the green player taking over Africa with Europe and only guarding Middle East and Ukraine. So to prevent myself from possibly getting trapped in Australia, I decided to capture South America and focus on adding the most of troops there. As Australia in a 3-player situation playing with decent players could be a very dangerous spot to get easily trapped and then a very hard spot to get out. However, it's the decision point for the green player again, with me and blue showing him the initiative to team up, and it seems the green player decides to stay neutral for another time. So not sure how it will go. But I think it's the best for me to try staying aggressive towards the blue player and potentially trying to take the advantage over the whole game, with me being the strongest player. And I mean, with me being the strongest, I have to attack someone anyways, as otherwise the game could stalemate. But yeah, unfortunately the blue player had a 10 troop set at 3 cards, so at the end I end up of not sustaining the advantage. But who knows? If the blue player hadn't had a set and hadn't invaded me into Australia, then maybe the green player would have ended up attacking me. So maybe, That's good. The blue player offers the alliance request for me, but with him being in Australia I would like to try teaming up with the green player of me capturing both of the Americas and with the green player Africa plus Europe. I have a 10 troop set which I could have definitely traded in to be safe, but not to appear that much strong, so more likely my opponents could end up giving me away the game. I decided not to trade it in. But I see that was probably a bad decision, not trading in a set I shouldn't have captured all those blue players' territories, as I just ended up only having 2 small armies of 13 troops each, and then all of the rest of the territories were made of 1 troop each. So by seeing that, I sent the attack request for the green player to attack the blue player once again, hoping that he wouldn't potentially decide to go taking me out in case of having a 10 troop set, but thank God he didn't have one. But even if he had one, then I'm still not sure if it would have been a great decision to try taking me out. But in one way or another it wasn't the best gameplay from me at all, and by seeing that the green player sent an angry emoji when I started capturing North America, I shouldn't have continued capturing it for sure. So taking all of that into the account, I will admit that in overall I played quite badly here. But as you can see, at the end everything still went well for each of us. The balance of the game is sustained and nobody of us got taken out. Anyways, it seems that the green player wants to be neutral, or maybe expects that I would attack the blue player by myself again, especially with him unleashing my army towards invading the blue player through Iceland. But I mean, with him being the strongest player right now, I don't have attack blue right now, as all in all I could end up even giving him away the game. But the thing which is bad for me is that the blue player encourages the green player to team up on me. So I'm in a kinda tough spot right now. But let's see what the green player is going to do. But alright, this time he invades the blue player into Europe, and this is so fortunate for me because at the end I don't end up being the player which being trapped ends up of getting weakened by both of the opponents, with them letting each other hold unguarded continents. And with the blue player retaliating, I think I will not try to properly team up with someone, but will try invade whichever player I can easily invade as well. So after all it might end up being a proper 3-player match in which everyone stands for himself, with each of us making a lot of attacks towards each other while not really trying to team up with someone. But I mean, I'm just going to see if the opportunity to properly team up with someone comes with the other player showing the initiative, then I will take it. But for now I will try to treat both of my opponents more or less equally and attacking both of them when they continents and leave them not properly guarded. Or I mean, with them probably being mad on each other, I could have probably stayed neutral and avoid making attacks. But then with me becoming quite stronger they should start teaming up on me, or if not then stop attacking each other, and the game could stalemate, and I want for this game to be interesting. Or I mean, I could have still tried not attacking anyone hoarding troops and maybe they would have given me away the game. I mean, even though this game is being played with decent grandmasters, you can still never know if turtling strategies could work well in case they get very emotional. So anyways, now I think I will try to team up with the blue player with him showing the initiative if the green player goes to Australia. But alright. At first the green player wanted to crush one of the blue player's armies, which might have given me away the game, but then the green player ended up going all the way around to invade the blue player into both of his continents and at the same time to avoid getting trapped. So with the balance of the game still being sustained, the game continues. Anyways, this time I think I will just try taking the advantage of the situation by being neutral and not doing a lot of attacks, and I mean, if they let me end up being too strong, then it will be their own problem. So I'm not going to waste my troops now. I left 8 troops on the territory of China instead of Siam, so if anybody wants to take Australia from me, then they wouldn't crush those troops. As you can see, my troops got crushed anyways, and I mean that's still fine anyways. And when it comes to South America, I decided to make both of my armies to be equal instead of one of them being small, so nobody could really afford invading me into South America with me already being the strongest player. So anyways, with the green player taking Australia from me and not guarding it, I decided to take it back. With me being the strongest player, I want to make some attacks too, otherwise my opponents, by noticing that I'm getting quite stronger than them without making any attacks, they would be forced to team up with each other and start targeting me. So I want to keep making some of the attacks too. What I want is that this game wouldn't be a stalemate in general, but even with me trying to make some attacks, I really struggle to achieve it. The thing is that I cannot really properly team up with someone. At first it seemed they were going after each other without sending me any attack requests, but now they suddenly stopped attacking me and it seems they might be targeting me. Well, it depends what the green player does now. And that's right, the green player invaded me into Australia while letting blue hold Europe, so they're in a very strong alliance as of now. And I mean, it was really up to green. Being the second strongest player, he had to choose to either team up with me on targeting the weakest player, with of course letting me to crush some more troops into blue until I get to his troops level, or to team up with the weakest player on me. And unfortunately to me, the green player decided to team up with the blue player, and I guess it should have been really expected, as I haven't sent any attack requests to the green player, while the blue player meanwhile could have sent some and encouraged the green player to team up on me. So without encouraging the green player to do anything with me, it should have been pretty much expected for me, with me just targeting whichever player who captures and doesn't guard continent. On the other hand, maybe I didn't encourage the green player to do something recently because I have tried multiple times before and I wasn't really successful. So with all three of us not really teaming up, I thought that we might have a game in which every player stands for himself without really having strong alliances, especially with the green and blue players attacking each other quite a bit not so long ago, but little did I know that they suddenly decide to be friends and even trap me. So what I will try to do is to weaken one of the players. I attacked the blue player so much more in this game, so I think I will try manual roll the green player. I don't want to accidentally blitz his army by misclick, so let's go to my smaller army to switch to manual rolls. But actually no guys, as much as I would hate to target the blue player once again, to weaken the green player a lot would be a mistake which could even give away the blue player the whole game. As when you get trapped, you should weaken the player whose turn is after yours, because he would be able to break into another player's continents to save the balance of the game, while if you target another player instead, then that player cannot do anything with that player whose turn after yours, immediately getting all the continental troops, and either getting an unstoppable advantage or just immediately winning the game. So I showed the blue player that I'm going to manual roll him, and to avoid both of us losing a lot of troops, I sent him the alliance request firstly. He accepted it, but only after his turn was over, still leaving his armies in the way that I would be trapped. So this is why I sent him the thumbs down emoji, as he might be still targeting me. Then he sent me the attack request to attack green, and, with me being able to capture a territory which wouldn't block myself from any of the blue player's armies, I decided to give him a chance to see whether he is serious of attacking the green player or he just wants to manipulate me, putting me into position in which it would be even harder for me to get out of being trapped. And as you can see, he was just trying to manipulate me, but the good news is that he has failed of trapping me again, or maybe he was expecting something different from the green player, so I ended up being unblocked. And now I just have to invade the blue player, so with the green player being quite stronger, he would be forced to stop targeting me and start targeting green, so the balance of the game wouldn't be broken. But with the blue player sending me the alliance request at the end, I decided to give him another chance before starting to weaken him, so I accepted the alliance request and didn't invade him into Europe, so he would have more troops to use against the green player. Fortunately, the blue player was serious with the alliance this time, so a very strong alliance between him and the green player has been broken. The blue player knew that if he continues teaming up with green, then I will just start weakening him, so he would just be forced to betray the green player. So very fortunately for both of us, the blue player this time has finally betrayed the green player after trying to possibly manipulate me at first. So now we should be good with each other and might even end up drastically teaming up on green. So now the green player is in the worst position of all of three and has to come up with something good on how to get out of this situation. But I of course have to be very careful too. With the blue player having Australia and a lot of territories, I have to be very reasonable when it comes to me attacking him. I don't want to weaken myself too much, otherwise the game could be given away for blue. So, while I want to help out the blue player attack green, at the same time I have to stick being very reasonable with it to not over-destroy neither myself nor green. But I also have to show initiative as well if I want that the blue player would take the alliance seriously, as otherwise with me not attacking much he could stop attacking the green player too, and then the game could possibly stalemate, or both of my opponents could remake a strong alliance with each other once again. And yeah, it seems the blue player is very serious of teaming up with me, so it would be the best to continue teaming up for me as long as I would able to afford it. Looking to the troops count, the blue player seems to be quite stronger than us, but when looking to the big armies, all three of us are pretty much equal, and also the blue player has already traded in a set, while I and the green player still have a bunch of cards, so with us trading in sets, the troops counter should really equalize itself in overall. I think green could possibly give away me the game here if he actually blitzes the blue player's army, well probably depending on the blitz roll he would get. But alright, he stopped and I assume he just wanted to show the blue player that he wants to capture Australia. When the blue player said me to attack his territory if I need to before the green player moving next to Australia, I understood that he suggested to me capture both of the Americas while he would capture Australia and Asia with both of us trapping the green player. This time I thought that he wanted me to still capture both of the Americas while he would capture Africa plus Europe, but for some reasons I wasn't totally sure if it's really what he wants. So at first I hesitated capturing both of the Americas, but with the blue player making the message clear by sending thumbs ups and the encouraging chat phrases, finally both of the Americas were captured by me. And with the blue player capturing Africa plus Europe, the green player has become trapped. And that's awesome. I think the green player has just given me the game, as not only I have more troops than both of them combined, but also the green player's cards is going to basically compensate the troops I will lose when taking him out. And this is why one thing you don't want to weaken yourself a lot when having a lot of cards, and another thing this is why you should focus on weakening the player who has turn after you but not before you. Because with me immediately receiving all of those troops the blue player didn't even get a turn to do anything, while if my army had been weakened, then I would have been able to invade the blue player into his continents. And also another thing to take into the account is that I was at 5 cards while the blue player was at only 2. So anyways, it was very fun and very decent game in general, and thanks to both of the grandmasters for playing.